Welcome to HomeFront SitRep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront SitRep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Still in the fight, different battlefield, same damn life. No spotlight shining on the ones we'll serve. Just great sacrifice and a whole lot of nerve. From small town shops to a helping hand, we're lifting each other, yeah, that's the plan. No red tape, no filter, no disguise. Just truth in the fire, behind our eyes. This is HomeFront SitRep, hear the call, where the real ones rise and the fallen stand tall. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here, this is HomeFront SitRep. From the shadows to the spotlight we step. Yeah, this is HomeFront SitRep. From the scars we carry to the lives we rebuild. From the weight of silence to the strength of will. Non-profits grinding, boots on the street. No headlines chasing, just mission complete. Veteran alone, still chasing the dream. From a mic to a message, we're building a team. Creators and fighters, yeah, we all belong. Turn the pain into purpose, turn the hurt into song. No politics, no games, no divide. Just warriors standing side by side. This is HomeFront SitRep, hear the call. Where the real ones rise and the fallen stand tall. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here, this is HomeFront SitRep. From the shadows to the spotlight we step. Yeah, this is HomeFront SitRep. We don't forget, we don't walk away. We carry each other through every day. From combat boots to a boss to a seat, still standing tall, still hard to defeat. Real stories, real impact, real people. This ain't just a podcast. This is a movement. This is HomeFront SitRep, loud and clear. For the ones still fighting year after year. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here. This is HomeFront SitRep. Yeah, we rise, we grind, no regret. Welcome to HomeFront SitRep.
Welcome, everybody, to a Sunday edition of HomeFront SitRep. How is everybody doing? Gunny, how are you, sir?
I'm well. Hopefully I don't have any technical difficulties this week. Man, I don't know what happened last week. Just everything just absolutely crashed. We had to come in and do some, well, I say we, Micah had to come in and do some, diagnostic stuff and delete some stuff and close some stuff. And, all the things that run in the background that, you don't see running when you open your computer. But no, it was a good week. I did a TV interview with a local news station like the day after I got back from Japan. And then that aired this week. And they focused more on the HomeFront SitRep than they did anything else, which was really cool.
I noticed.
Yeah. So we filmed here for an hour, and that 3 minute and change slot is what they aired. I do know that they plan on airing some more stuff around Memorial Day because I did speak on Memorial Day a little bit. But yeah, other than that, man, it's good. I've got a couple weeks off. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. The first time in a long time that I don't have anything scheduled with the team for Memorial Weekend. Some of my teammates are coming to town and they're like, "Hey, while we're here, put us to work." And they're getting put to work. They're on like 3 or 4 different shows from, you know, good Lord, Miamisburg to Middletown, all the way down to Clarksville, Tennessee for their spring and the summer event. So yeah,
Nice.
teammates are going to be working. I get to relax for a little bit. And then, the week after that, I take off to New Jersey for 3 days, a day of shark and tuna fishing. So yeah, I'm excited. I got 11 guys, 10 guys that are going with me. So I'm taking 10 guys this year.
Heck yeah.
I'm waiting on a response from one other if he can go or not. But yeah, I've been tasked with 12 this year. So got one more to fill.
Heck yeah, man. Now you need to take some gunny time and relax and just hang out with the wife and kids and recharge your batteries per
Screw
se.
them kids. Thursday's the last day of school, man. I
know.
bro, I'm gonna have, but and then Micah changed his schedules. He's off Mondays and Tuesdays now, so
Okay.
I'm gonna no.
Well, we still got a
I
little
gotta
bit
get
of
away.
while.
I gotta get away.
Yeah, we still so Lorelai graduates 30th. The 30th of May is her graduation day. Now,
Yeah.
I think the last day of school is the 28th. So I will have, kids no longer in school. They will be going to college, which one of
Yeah.
them already is. She's on her summer break. And then the youngest will go back once they start back. So, it's one of those things. You just got to take your time
Yeah.
where you can get it, because I know for me, my kids, they'll be gone. They won't be home. It'd just be me and Julie here. So we'll be dealing with that. So you got to take your time. What's
Yeah.
going on, Rich LaMonica from the Misfit Nation? How's it going,
You can
brother?
get you a naked room now. They're gonna be
Hey,
gone.
he's saying that stuff.
Dude, I tell you, I watched that movie the other day, and the last thing I wanted to see was Terry Bradshaw's bare bottom, So it's like, oh my God, Dad got himself a naked room.
Oh man.
That's
Yeah,
what
no,
that's what the boys say. We're gonna move out and we're gonna come back and my room's gonna be your naked room. I'm like, no, your room's in the front of the house. We're not doing that.
yeah. No, I've already told my kids, I said, once you officially move out completely, make sure you call before you show up, because you never know what Dad's going to be doing.
Oh, we're moving. We're not telling them where we're going either. We're just
There you
packing
go.
up and we're going.
There you go. They're going to be coming back here and be like, where's Mom and Dad at? Somebody else is
Yep.
living in our house. I do want to say, since we wasn't on live yesterday, but yesterday was Armed Forces Day 2026. So I want to say to my brothers and sisters out there, thank you for your service. Our country could not be what it is without everybody's sacrifice. So just want to say happy Armed Forces Day. And if you're a Marine, Semper Fi. Just let's leave it at that. Rich says, hell yeah, empty nesting nakedness all the time.
Man.
I've already told my wife. I said, you get ready. I said, just be ready.
We're off the rails already and we're not.
Yeah, we ain't even got our guest. Man, I tell you what though, I'm super excited about our guest tonight. Been trying to get her and her husband, they're both veterans. Been trying to get both of them on our show since we first started talking with them, because I love supporting veteran-owned businesses. What's going on, Steve-O? And especially somebody who's done something for us as a show. They created the HomeFront SitRep hat logo. I love that. They did this Mogadishu Mile hat that we're wearing.
Other side, Willis. Come on now.
Well, I thought.
Fix yourself.
There we go. So anyway, and I love it. And man, I tell you what, they do a whole plethora of other things. What's up, Chris Elder? How are you, sir? I'm super excited to bring them on so you guys get to learn more about Elite Engraving and what they do. Of course, you're probably not going to know much about the other half of the team, but we're going to learn out about Miss Kara here in just a few seconds. So I'm super excited.
I'm excited. We've had the HomeFront SitRep hats for a while now, and then I think they got these out to us last week. I know we started working on them when I was in Japan, and back and forth with the 13-hour time difference, and I'm getting texts and emails at 3 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the morning. But I was still on East Coast time then. I'm back to East Coast time. My sleep cycle is back to normal-ish now. But yeah, super excited. I love the hat. Love the way they fit. The HomeFront SitRep hat, this hat. And then I got some other stuff working too. We talked earlier, but I'm not going to let any of that info out. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm definitely going to be getting, for sure, 100% ordering a couple more things from Elite Engraving. Great to work with, easy to work with, a great product. So, how can you not?
Yeah.
And it's veteran owned, and they're right here in Kentucky.
Yeah, we could just drive up there if we needed to, if we needed to pick something up. So.
I'm not gonna jump in on them. Maybe they got a naked room. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows? We don't know. Well, all right. So without further ado, let's bring Miss Kara up to the show. Welcome. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
Doing great.
We are doing wonderful. Do me a favor. Well, first, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, because I know you just finished up a Barrelhead right before you came on. Do me a favor. Introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront SitRep.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. My name is Kara Leonard, and I am the owner of Elite Engraving. A little bit about me and my background. I joined the Air Force right out of high school, and I joined as an aerospace ground equipment mechanic. I grew up working on tractors and working on vehicles, and always had a pretty strong mechanical aptitude. And I guess the Air Force saw that on my ASVAB, and that's where I got put into. I went in open general, and really, there was a lot of places I could have went from there. Ended up being an aerospace ground equipment mechanic. One of the longest tech schools actually you go through the Air Force is for age. And part of the reason for that is you're essentially an electrician, you're a mechanic, you do some mild metals work a little bit too, but we work on over 300 different pieces of equipment on the flight line, and you're not ever restricted to any one specific aircraft. Your heavies on one base, or you switch to fighters, or your cargos. So you're working on support equipment for just about every type of aircraft. And you're also working the flight line too. So you're setting up and staging equipment for the aircraft. So you're doing service inspections on them. We do engine swaps. You learn to read all different types of schematics. And some of the equipment that you probably see it on just even a general flight line, or like the diesel engine, Hobart engine generators that you see, gas turbine engines. The bomb lifts that we used to load the bombs on the aircraft, we worked on those, the hydraulic mules, all the frequency converters, anything from as small as, the big axle to jack stands, or the aircraft steps, LOX carts, NOx carts. Gosh, the list could just go on. What was kind of cool about it, it was challenging because it was a lot to learn for sure. But what was neat about it is you could work on almost anything outside of the military if you learned age. We worked on the heaters, the air conditioners, all different types of. So I was type 1, 2, and 3 refrigerant certified. I was able to get kind of a qualification through an electrician program as well. And I worked my way up all the way up to a 7 level, which was, I'm not sure how a 7 level is in the other branches, but 7 level is like the highest level that you can get once you get through all of your certifications and training as well. And I did that for 12 years. My first duty station was at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Arizona, which is the Boneyard base.
Yeah.
Loved it there. A really nice base, was really spoiled there. And then shipped off to Guam, Anderson Air Force Base, Guam. And I was there for 5 years, which if you've ever been to Guam, it's really small. You can drive around the entire island in under an hour. So you get island fever pretty good on that island. So I learned to diversify my skills to keep myself entertained while I was there. So I ended up learning to scuba dive. I got nitrox certified, so I did a lot of deep dives. And Guam has a lot of really cool old shipwrecks. They even have a B-2 bomber wreck that's still sitting out in the ocean that you can dive down and see. So they've got some pretty neat stuff that you can dive in and see in the surrounding area. And a lot of stuff in the jungle as well too from previous wars that they called it boonie stomping. You could go out in the jungle and go out there with the hatchet and go stomp through the jungle and go look at all cool war relics, and it was a lot of fun. It's if you haven't been there before, it's not like Hawaii. I mean, it is in some ways in that it's tropical, but it's not as developed. It's a lot more underdeveloped. And the locals there are the Chamorros. My oldest son was born in Guam, and so they call Americans or military members that are born on the island are considered Guamanians. So he's a Guamanian, and he always likes to brag to his friends that he was born in Guam, and he has this Guam birth certificate. Now that he's getting older and applying for jobs, it really throws people off when they see his birth certificate. But it was a pretty neat experience. Fell in love with the food. It's a lot of Filipino style food. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the kiliguin, pancit, and just all that good food. And the locals just welcome you in with open arms. It was really a neat place to go. And then I got shot from 100 degrees, 100% humidity, all the way to South Dakota in the middle of a blizzard. And that was my next base. I did not like South Dakota. It was so cold. It was always windy. It was always cold. And I grew up in Henderson, Nevada, which is not too far at the outskirts of Las Vegas. Yeah. So I was always used to the desert heat, and I love the heat. The humidity, I've adapted to a little bit. And Ellsworth was my last base for I was at JBLM for a little while. I was pregnant with my second son, and he was born very premature. He had several medical complications. He was in the NICU for 6 months. And then after he was released from the NICU, he was still released on a lot of restrictions on oxygen tanks and monitors. And so I had decided at that point not to re-enlist, that I was going to take care of him and finish up my degree. I had already had an undergraduate degree in aerospace engineering that I had received through the military. I was almost complete with my master's degree in human resources. Don't ask me why I thought I was going to go to human resources. I tried it, and it's not what you think it is. It's not, and not the paper pushing side. I'm talking about, I went into operations and was involved in all the legal EEOC lawsuits that were just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I did it for a little while when I got outside of the military. I was really good at it, but I always fought for the employees, but the company paid me. And the company didn't like it, and I didn't. Yeah. I butted heads a lot with the company, decided the civilian workforce wasn't really all it was cracked up to be. I didn't feel like it was something I really wanted to do, but I still felt like I had a lot of good business management skills and entrepreneurial skills that I learned through my degree program. And I also had a lot of experience using a lot of different software programs and through what I learned in engineering. And so I decided I wanted to start my own business, and I married the two and decided I wanted to get into lasering. It was something that I've dabbled around with a little bit, and I wanted to find a way where I could turn it into a business, and hence the birth of Elite Engraving. My husband thought I was crazy. He had served in the Army. He served for about 10 years. He was in infantry for quite a while. Then he went into protective service. Then he went in to do some contracting with the military, and he was gone a lot. He was involved in some stuff that took him away, and that keeps him awake at night. And so when he finished up that, he stayed home, took care of the kids. And so that HR job that I had was kind of our sole source of income. And it's funny because my therapist, yes, I was in therapy. That's how bad the HR was. My therapist called it the golden handcuffs. because you go from making a 6-figure job. I had gotten to a point where I was making, gosh, over $250,000 a year. It had gotten pretty bad. I would say the one thing that I think for sure was the final straw for me was I was working at a place, and as you know, our world is changing as far as what's considered sensitive and what's not considered sensitive.
Yeah.
And I was also in charge of the Veterans Employee Resource Group. I had started this employee resource group for the company, and it was something I was very passionate about. And we were going to host a Memorial Day ceremony. And we were going to have a POW MIA table. We were going to have an American flag. If you've ever seen how the table's put together, there's a Bible on the table. Well, they didn't like that. They didn't like the American flag. They didn't want the American flag. They didn't want the Bible involved in it. And that was the final straw. So I came home to my husband and said, hey, I'm going to start a business. And he's like, oh, well, when are you going to do that? And I said, well, right now, because I'm not working anymore.
We did that on the way home. That's done and it's over with.
I didn't consult with him. I don't consult with him on a lot of things because he knows if I do, I'm going to do it anyway.
You're going to win anyway. Yeah.
Ask him about the day I showed up with a offshore fishing boat that cost more than our mortgage. I pulled up in the driveway with it. I was like, we're going to learn to fish when we were in Washington, and taught ourselves how to fish offshore, navigate, fish halibut, everything. I mean, he ended up enjoying it eventually. He appreciated it later.
I'm sure he did eventually.
Yeah. So now I'm running, a business, and my husband started joining me and supporting me and helping me out with the business about a year later. I was kind of running it independently for a while, and it started growing really fast. It started, very quickly replacing, not as much, but enough that we could get by, and we were able to do what we wanted to do our way and have more flexibility. And so that's what I'm doing now. We're running this business. We've been in business now for about 2 years. Built this business up from scratch and built the website. We do all our marketing. Primarily, I have a couple different lasers. I have a CO2 laser. It's a 100-watt laser, and that one does laser cutting and engraving on just about every kind of material out there except for metals. And what's kind of cool about it is that it cuts faster than even it engraves. So you can cut wood, you can cut you can assemble things with it, you can build things with it too. So I also got a fiber laser as well. So it could do all different types of ferrous and non-ferrous metals as well. So I can engrave firearms, I can engrave knives. I've done a lot of metal work as well for companies. Some are individual one-off, but the bulk of our business, never thought it was going to end up this way, but it's ended up this way, but is doing custom bulk order leather patch hats for companies. So company comes out to us, they send us their logo. They either have a logo or they don't have a logo. If they don't, we help them design it. We don't charge them for it. I'm really quick on the graphic design side. And then we build them a hat, and they'll order them in bulk, and we ship them to them. And that's become the bulk of our business, and it's done really well for us. That's all right. That's probably kind of a long-winded introduction.
This is all about you.
This is easy because you're doing everything. We don't have to ask the questions. I mean, I've got a bunch of questions I want to ask, but I'm going to wait until you're done before we get to the Q&A piece.
Yeah. So, I have 2 boys. They're 16, almost 17, and 13. My oldest son, Jaden, he'll turn 17 this year. He'll be 18 next year, and he wants to join the Army. He wants to be a Ranger.
Oh, nice.
Which is no, it's not. He used to be Air Force like his mommy, and I'm almost got him there. The youngest one I've got him there, but I think I'd be proud if they joined any branch of the military, no matter what they did.
Just don't let them go Marines.
Yeah, there you go. Right, Marines or Navy, right? No.
Whoa.
No, that's too tough for them, right? No.
No, it's just that the other branches offer. Now, I'm not saying nothing negative about the Marines. I love my time in the Marine Corps.
I'll say it, damn it. Gunny will say it.
Gunny will say, I love my time in the Marine Corps, but I will tell you that other branches offer more things for them outside of the Marine Corps. Like there's things that you can do while you're in the Army that you can't do in the Marine Corps. Same thing with the Air Force. Like you went to college, been an infantry guy in the Marines, going to college. No, it wasn't even heard of. Like you couldn't do that. Now, granted, it might change. It might change a little bit.
It's changed a lot since you were in and out.
Yeah.
Just because of the deployment cycle and some of those other things, there's a lot more of the satellite schools or online courses they can take now, which there wasn't back. So that's a lot different.
You got staticky on your end too? Whoa. I don't know what happened, Gunny. We can't hear you, bro. Like it's real staticky. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Whew.
This computer is so jacked up.
Now it's back to normal.
Who knows? Anyway.
Time to
Scroll.
Nope, back the way it was. You have to go out and come back in, Gunny. Yeah, he's gonna have to go out and come back in. I don't know.
We can hear them.
It's just real static.
Loud.
Yeah. Go out and come back in. Like
stupid ass thing.
Oh man.
I love technology.
Yeah. So we got a question. William Stevo says, "Do you do coins?"
So it's interesting. Most coins are actually pressed, and almost all coins that are pressed are typically done overseas. But what we typically do is there's a lot of sports teams, or if somebody wants something as a commemorative coin, we buy the coin already pressed, and then there's an option to engrave on the back of the coin. Wish I had an example with me. Oh, actually I do. So this is an example of this coin here is pressed. So that's how they normally come. These aren't laser engraved. And on the back, so this is what I did for one of the Trimble County schools and engraved it. This is a black to gold engrave on the back of the coin. So that kind of allows you to customize it. But if you're looking for something more like a collectible style coin that you can personalize with color, those are typically pressed, and you typically order those online.
Yeah, like the ones behind Gunny and over here.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, those are typically pressed. There's very few that you find that I haven't been able to find any yet that are stateside where they're actually pressing and making them. I think there's a few larger companies now that are doing them, but it's hard to compete with. They charge a lot less overseas to ship those over. But yeah, I
think the company that we support, Valor Coins and Pins, they do all their stuff overseas, and it is cheaper. No, okay, maybe
he uses both here in the States and overseas. It just depends on what the client wants.
There's some starting to do it a lot more, especially because and with tariffs and everything too, it is allowing it to be more competitive for stateside to be able to do some of that work as well.
I mean, the prices are still double than what they are overseas here in the States to get it done here. So, even with the shipping costs and the tariff costs, it's still cheaper to get it out of, Korea or China or wherever the plant is.
Right, exactly.
Sounds right. Am I better now? Am I not screeching?
Well, it's going in and out, so I don't know if it's what's causing it to go in and out. Like you'll be normal, then all of a sudden it goes really loud and screechy, and then it drops back to normal. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's like that one time.
Yeah, I've changed nothing on my board or anything else. So it's probably the wife and the kid messing with the computer that's screwing with it.
Yeah, no, turn your mic volume down just a little bit.
It's almost to the damn bottom, bro.
What about the one on the front of the mic?
I don't have one on the front of the mic.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. So
I mean, it's so
question.
low I can't even hear myself in my headset. That's how low it is right now.
Yeah, we hear you like super loud,
That is
but it's good. I mean,
crazy.
it's just talk away from the mic, not right
I
up
mean,
on it.
I was talking over here and it did it.
That's perfect right there.
Yeah.
That's
So
perfect
anyway,
right there.
so did a lot of your formal schooling count towards your like college degree, or like for the Marine Corps, there's very little that transfers over, and I know just talking to guys that I served with that from all branches that it depends on what school you went to, depending on how many college credits you got, and if it transferred over or not.
All of mine transferred over. And that was, I think that was kind of the nice thing about our tech school was so long. And then you also end up going to 7-level school later too. But I mean, the only thing I had left by the time I had finished my tech school, I, went to basic training, then went to tech school. Once I finished that, then it was just your general electives at that point. I mean, it didn't take me long at all. And I guess one of the nicer things, I don't know how much of this is available in the other branches, but every base that I went to, there was always a branch of some sort of university on the base.
Yeah.
So you didn't even have to do it virtually. And they were pretty good most of the time about giving us time. We worked a lot of hours just because of the demand of the flight line. We were just, I mean, a lot of times, I don't ever remember having a 5-6 day work week. Most of the time it was 6-7 days a week. We worked through holidays, Christmas, especially in Guam. At the time that I was stationed in Guam, there was a lot going on in North Korea, and there was a lot of the show of force. So we were doing a lot of exercises with the Australian and Japanese Air Force, and we were just working all the time. And that was the only thing that kind of was a bummer, because you saw the other jobs, some of the other jobs in the Air Force, they were working their Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
that sucks. That's good. I went to the wrong job, but not really, because, I can work on, I'm very comfortable working on things outside the military, and it saves you a lot of money when you can, do your own work, and then being able to apply that too, and being able to pass that on to my children too, that knowledge and skills as well.
I was going to ask you, because you said you were already pretty well mechanically inclined before you joined the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
So already being mechanically inclined, and then when you go in and do your job in the Air Force, did that help you? And then when you transitioned out, how did that help you as well? Even though you went into HR afterwards, which that's a whole different subject, because HR is not fun, no matter what department you're in. So how did that help you?
Yeah, if there's anybody listening that's in HR, I am so sorry. I mean, that's a tough job. I feel like it's one of those jobs that's just, it's one of those untold stories. People don't understand how stressful that job can really be. Gosh, I feel like that job was more stressful than what I did in the military. That's a tough job to have. But I think, I definitely think it helped me a lot. It was, I knew most of the basics going in, so that helped me a lot. There was a lot of tests, there was a lot of exams, and it was a lot of information. And I saw a lot of my classmates really struggling through that, especially at the beginning. And, if you fail your test, your schooling is going to be longer and longer and longer. You have to keep going back and redoing it. And I was able to get through it really well. There was a lot that I had never seen before and never knew. I knew some basics about reading schematics, but not like these schematics. Everything we worked out of with technical orders. That was before they had tough books. Back when they had just started getting tough books when I was getting out. And so you just had these giant, they were like a brick of technical orders that you just have to kind of weed through. And then you have to pull the schematic out. That was, this is like pulling out a geographic map. Now they have tough books where you can search for things and find things easier too. So they've come a long ways with that, with making some of those improvements. But yeah, I think it definitely helped me going in. But I think anybody wanting to go into that type of job, I don't know about specifically other jobs, I can't speak to in other branches, but they do a really good job of training you for that, even if you have no mechanical aptitude, but it's something that you want to learn.
Nice. So go ahead, Gunny.
So your transition, I say this all the time. So my last two OICs were Air Force guys. Now we had an Air Force detachment at my unit when I left. Was it easier for you to transfer back to civilian life because the Air Force is more run like corporate America? Then you notice some of the other branches that, you know, there's a lot more, I guess, discipline and thumb on people, just kind of holding them in place, if you will.
Well, I was a mechanic. So mechanic in the Air Force, we screwed off a lot. I mean, like, you had to have some thick skin. I mean, we definitely, I mean, if you were leaving to PCS to another base, you would do everything you could to be sick and not be there that day, because you were going to get hogtied and you were going to get pulled through the wash rack, and they were going to dump every piece of nasty anything they could on you and hose you down the wash rack and drag you all the way around all the other squadrons, hogtied to a trailer. It didn't matter if you were male or female, which I appreciated, because it's equal rights, right? I mean, but I think that I was used to that level of, I mean, we were professional for sure, but there wasn't it just seemed so uptight transitioning into the civilian world. Everybody seemed a lot more sensitive.
Yeah.
And I didn't really, everybody around me cussed all the time when I was a mechanic there. I didn't really pick up on that, so it wasn't too bad for me coming out, but it definitely was, it was different from that transitional aspect as far as the culture goes, because I mean, I hadn't, I think anybody joining the military right out of high school, you haven't been exposed to what that culture is like. That's your only culture that you're exposed to. So that was a bit of a transition. I think for sure that I had to adjust a little bit too. And I think not so much for me, but me being specifically as a human resource professional, if I had an employee come to me to report something that I didn't feel like should be reported, that was almost laughable.
Yeah.
I have to, okay, you have to go through this employee handbook. Okay, yeah, no, this is borderline. Then you have to use your best judgment, and you're just, I don't know. It was definitely a little bit of it was a big culture shock.
Yeah.
I could imagine, going from military and then HR and things that you saw while you were in the military. Because I know us Marines, we had some dirty minds and shit when we were in, and being an HR professional, I'd be like, man, what did Adam say down in training? Don't be a little what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
don't be a bee.
Don't be a little bee. That's probably what I would say to some of these people, because I'm a union steward for my company. I work for a corporate big telecommunication company. I'm a union steward, and some of these guys, when they come to me and say, "Hey, this is what's going on," I'm like, "Dude, suck it up, man. Move on, Buttercup."
Always my favorite people. I had to negotiate union contracts, and the union steward that came to me with all the grievances, and some of them were really cool about it. Most of the time, like I said, I was always I wanted to represent the employees. I felt like that's what the profile was, but the company didn't really want you to be that way. So
yeah.
But I had to.
But it's hard. It's hard. It's hard when here you're doing the same job that they're doing, and you have no complaints, right? And then they come to you as a union steward, and they're like, "Well, this is going on. This is going on." You're like, "I'm not seeing the same thing that you're seeing," but yet they want to file a grievance on that because they feel like they're getting slighted or whatnot. And then you got to take that to the company and be like, "Oh, this is what's going on," but it's not really going on. It's like, how do you differentiate between what's real, what's not real? So I feel real strongly when it comes to HR people that they, like you said, it's a really, really hard job, and it's thankless too. like people don't really care about people in HR. They think they're just there to get them. So it's crazy. But now I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing because I love wearing your hat. I will love representing you. Every episode that Gunny and I host, we always talk about you and your company. I do have a question because I want to go back. So you were in the Air Force. Your husband was Army. Were you married and both of you in the service at the same time?
Yes, we were. We actually we met. We were family friends prior to joining the military, so we had already known each other, and we had just reconnected pretty shortly on after we enlisted. So yeah, we were married while we were in.
So
I
how
didn't get to
hard?
see him hardly at all.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask, how hard was that with you being on the bases that you were on? He was at the bases he was at. How hard was that on your relationship then?
I don't think it was terrible. It was just we were both so flippin' busy. I feel like I was just working all the time. I don't ever feel like there was ever really much of a there was never a line between work and outside of work, and that came at the expense of it was difficult for especially my youngest child being very little, and fortunately I had gotten out after my second child was born, so he didn't have to deal with that too much, but just missing out on a lot and just not being able to be involved. But it helped in the aspect of the relationship because we just were so busy all the time. But getting out, all of a sudden you got to get to know the stranger. That when I say we were family friends, we didn't really know each other very well. Just our families knew each other. We had met each other a couple times, but never had really gotten to know each other. So it's almost like you're getting to know a stranger all over again. And it was like, oh, hi, I'm Kara.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. I'm your wife. Let's
Yeah, right.
figure this out, because we have to get into a rhythm now.
Yeah, I mean, being apart like that, I think that would be really hard, especially different branches and you're on different bases. I think that would be really hard, especially when you're overseas and he's stateside or vice versa. I would feel like that would be really hard on somebody, especially having a young child, having, young children involved as well. Cause you said your son was born in Guam. Um, how was that like being in the military, having a young kid and you're in a foreign country? How was that?
Guam wasn't as foreign as probably most foreign countries were. I mean, there was a McDonald's there. They serve spam and eggs and all like the Filipino food.
Some masubi.
Where I don't know what it is about McDonald's, but everywhere you go, except the United States, their McDonald's is better than ours, which is not fair.
That's because a lot of them, the country says, if this is the picture you're going to put out there, that's the product you're going to put out there.
Yeah.
I just got back from Japan, and the Big Mac, the burger is still bigger than the bun, unlike here. So and that's how it was. It came out and it looked just like the picture on the menu.
We have what are they, shrinkflation over here. I don't know.
Yeah. So we got a question from Steve O. He says, did your branch for the I don't Air Force? Yes, she was Air Force. When you process out, did they have a good program to teach people transitioning to take their military skill and convert it over to civilian resume writing, or do they think they still have a way to go on that?
Yes, I can't remember the name of the program, but yes, they had a really good program for that, and they helped with resume writing. They helped with, I think it helped me because I had already had a degree, so that helped me, and then I also had the experience. So it was just trying to figure out which path am I going to take. Which at the time, remember, I have a newborn child that's having some complications that I'm just trying to keep him alive, and that was my number one focus. But also trying to make sure that we have, good benefits and a plan, because at the time my husband was also planning on getting out, so just trying to come up with a plan for that. But I think they did a really good job of that. I mean, I think I remember going through, oh gosh, I mean, it was several weeks of you'd sit down in the class instead of going to work, and they would teach you all about how to do an interview, how to write your resume, types of career paths you could take based off of your experience and your degree. So I feel like they did a really good job of that. They also went over all of your benefits from, the 9/11 GI Bill, from, if you've had injuries, how to file for disabilities. They'd help you do all of that stuff before you came out. And I know my husband did not have that same experience coming out of the Army. And he, he definitely needed to, if anybody needed that experience with figuring out stuff out, he needed it more than me. But fortunately, I was able to say, oh, well, they showed me this. And, so we kind of helped each other out and figured it out from there.
I think every branch has their own version of that. I know when I got out the first time in '01, we've talked about it numerous times. It was basically one day, basically, hey, you're getting out, blah, blah, you're a civilian now. And that was it. We didn't have all of that. Of course, that was in 2001. And then when I got recalled back in, it still was not even better when I got out that time in 2004. So it's just like, But I do know that each branch has worked on it and changed. They got SEPs and TAPs now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even people transitioning now, depending on what branch, some say it's good, some say it's not good. So I think there's still a long way to go on that, because especially Marines, when we get broke down and then we get rebuilt, but when we get out, they don't teach us how to be civilians again. Granted, I went right after high school, so I'm like you, I didn't have the civilian, I wasn't acclimated to the civilian sector of work at that time. Now, granted, I had jobs while I was in high school and stuff like that, so I knew kind of how that went. But when I got out, I still didn't know how to deal with people, regular civilians, because I still had that Marine Corps mentality.
I've been retired for over 14 years, and I still don't know how to deal with them sometimes.
Yeah. Stupid people are stupid people. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, I see that with I think my husband definitely struggled with the transition getting out more than I did, but he was just trained for war.
Yeah.
Very different,
Well, and I noticed a difference too, right? So I spent 9 years in the infantry, and then after I got injured, I was forced to go work on the Osprey, right? So it's a total different way of life. I mean, we worked 24 hours a day, right? We ran 3 shifts. We worked on the weekends, except for Saturday, right? But still, we were working 6-7 days a week on the aircraft to keep the aircraft flying, because that is the mission. The aircraft is the mission, right? It's not the people. We're in the infantry. The people is the mission. If you don't have the people, you can't successfully do your job. So, and then of course, like you said, you're training for war, you're training for combat constantly. That's all you're doing, right? Yeah. So to go with that fast-paced training, deployment cycle after deployment cycle, because when you're done with that deployment, yeah, you get to take 10, 12 days to come home and do whatever. But as soon as that's over with, you're right back in the suck again, going at it. So yeah, all the infantry guys that I've met, both Army and Marine Corps, have had a harder time, because civilian life is a lot slower pace than what we're used to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't get my husband to ever just sit still. He can't just sit down. He always has to be working, moving. For multiple reasons. If he sits down, his body hurts. He just, the best thing he does, he just has to keep moving all the time. He's just always all over the place. And fortunately, one of the nice things is after we had both transitioned out of the military and was starting the business, it's allowed us a lot more flexibility as well, because when I was working, I was, again, hardly ever home. I was commuting over an hour to work, and it never really had time to settle down after transitioning out to figure out kind of what our hobbies were. And one thing that we both really enjoy doing, that we both do together, is competitive shooting. And so we've been really just, I think when the kids get older and maybe they move out, we'll probably travel more for it, but we do some traveling for that as well too. But we've found we have very similar hobbies. We both love outdoors. We both love fishing. We both love to do the competitive shooting. But the hard thing for him is I always enjoyed the competitive shooting side of it. But for him, it was also shooting around other people. And that took a little bit for him to kind of work through. And now he's doesn't bother him at all. But, those type little things like that are more difficult transition maybe for him than for me.
Yeah.
So I know Gunny's going to ask this question, so I'm going to ask it first. So do you still have the boat?
No, I don't. We're in Kentucky. I mean, this thing, I don't think you realize how big this boat was. It was.
Well, I was going to say, if you still have the boat, the next
river, but
I was going to say, if you still had the boat, the next question Gunny would ask, when are we going to go fishing?
oh gosh, if there was anything I could do, if it wasn't for the fact that my husband he did find out he gets seasick and doesn't enjoy as much as I do.
They make the patch. The patch works great.
Right. Yeah. You know, he's tried some, well, I don't know if he's tried the patch specifically, but he's tried some other stuff and it didn't work very well for him. But if I could do anything, I would retire and I would get a little boathouse in CQ in Washington, and I would just fish halibut and salmon. And I mean, they had lingcod, and we taught, I mean, neither one of us ever grew up learning how to do any of this stuff, but you can learn how to do everything online, you know, just learning, watching videos.
YouTube is a great teacher sometimes.
Plug herring, and I learned how to use the downriggers, and he learned the navigation, and then we taught each other how to use these things. And we went out there, and I remember I got my first halibut. It was like reeling up a sheet of plywood from the bottom of the ocean. It was a painful experience, but it was, I mean, the thing, it was as big as me. If you've ever had halibut, it's the most delicious tasting fish in the world, in my opinion. Or if you've had like the halibut cheeks, oh, they're so good. And you have to, if you've ever fished for them, they're really big, and the boat's only so big, so you have to shoot them before they get in the boat. Otherwise, you're going to break a femur with the fish because they're just that big. And it was a pretty fun experience. So, I enjoyed the adventure.
Chris just said, "Come ice fishing with us." So we're going ice fishing in February up in Wisconsin with Chris and the guys up there. So yeah. Or if you want to go, we'll take you. If you want to go ice fishing.
Oh, I love fishing. I don't know. I don't know if I enjoy shooting or fishing more, but I think it depends on where I'm fishing and what I'm fishing for. But I did a lot of competitive bass fishing for a while too. Out in Lake
It doesn't matter. As long as I have a line in the water, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I have all the patience in the world. I could just not catch a fish all day, and I would just be, there's nothing that I would enjoy more.
Yeah, I love fishing. Like I don't eat fish myself personally. I used to when I was younger. I don't anymore, but I love going fishing and then bringing the fish back to the crew, because like we were down in Gulf Shores for New Year's, and we went. This is our second year on the charter that we went out on, and we caught our limited redfish. I forget what they are, but they're like a snapper, but not a snapper.
Delicious, yeah.
And caught our limit there. We caught a couple red snappers. That was the last day for that, and then we caught some other fish. But fighting the dolphins, man, you're trying to beat the dolphin to the boat before they get the food, and it's just like But no, it's fun, man. I love fishing. I know that's Gunny's reset. Mine is going out in the woods, just being in the woods, whether I'm hunting, whether I'm doing whatever. So it's all fun. All right, Steve, it'll be good.
Picture my trophy buck. It's so funny because me and my husband, we love to hunt as well too, and we have 2 deer stands set up, and we fight over which one gets which deer stand. So we just flip a coin for it usually. But we have he's got his trophy buck on the wall, and I've got my trophy buck, and mine's a lot bigger than his trophy buck, so I take on for it. But he drew, I've been trying to draw an elk tag here in Kentucky, which is a big bucket list of mine. And he drew it the first year that we moved here to Kentucky. I mean,
nice.
And he drew it for bull archery too.
Wow.
It was, and he got himself a nice big bull elk, which was pretty cool. So
nice.
One day, maybe.
Heck yeah. So is he from Kentucky, or where's he from?
He's from upstate New York, Owego.
Okay. Now, how did y'all settle in Kentucky?
We got some good salmon fishing up that way.
Yeah. We settled here in Kentucky. My parents separated shortly after I joined the military, and my mom's primary business is she had a quarter horse breeding ranch, and these were big, high dollar world champion quarter horse studs that they do artificial collections on them. If you've ever, I won't go into the details, although you guys probably wouldn't even bother you. It wouldn't faze you.
No.
I learned about the birds and the bees a little differently than most people when I was little.
Yeah.
So she obviously, I mean, it was all that's pretty big over there outside of Las Vegas, you know, the rodeo as well too. And so there was a lot going on with the futurity money there. And in Kentucky, they changed the futurity incentives, so you get paid a lot more money for futurity points for when you go and compete, show your horse. And so she had always planned on moving to Kentucky and bringing the ranch to Kentucky. So she moved out here. She met somebody out here, remarried, and we would come over here in the summertime and come visit. And we both loved it because it was just the best of both worlds. Every time we come visit, not only was land more affordable here, but the land you could get, at least where they lived, you could shoot your guns, there was fun, you could fish. I mean, you could do all the things you wanted to do and not have to leave. And I like to go places. My husband doesn't, he's perfectly fine just staying where he's at. So it worked out well if we could eventually get to a point where we had a place where I felt like I could go places but still be, you know, close to home and do all the things that I love to do. So we ended up moving out here because my stepfather, it's weird to call him stepfather after you get, you know, you're an adult, but he's been like a father in my life, and a big part of my life. He ended up, his lungs were failing, and he ended up with a double lung transplant, got really sick. And so we really wanted to come out, help out with my mom, and he got the transplant. They sold their place. We bought their ranch from them. And so we've got 30 acres out here with a 2-acre pond that we've fully stocked with fish. And my husband's done a lot of work to maintain this pond so we can fish out of it and enjoy it. And they moved 7 minutes down the road from us. And now he's not doing too well now. He's outlasted his lungs, and now he needs a kidney because the anti-rejection meds are eating up his kidneys, and he's down to, you know, finding a kidney transplant when you already have somebody else's organs and trying to find that match when you've got a cross of somebody else's organs and your own is almost impossible. So we're counting down days right now, but we're grateful that we're here and that we can be close to home to help out my mom too.
Well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's how we ended up here. We love it.
Yeah, I love Kentucky. I'm from here originally, and you know, I'm from Bourbon. I'm from Bardstown originally, bourbon capital of the world, and you know, the rolling green hills and stuff. I love Kentucky. Gunny, not so much up there. Look at him; he's shaking his head.
I love bourbon, and moving to Kentucky, I found out I love bourbon way too much, and I had to get out of my diet because that became a problem for me. Because they just had all this great bourbon here, and it was just very, So
bourbon is good. I love bourbon. Of course, I don't drink as much as I used to. I grew up, like I said, in bourbon capital. Before I was probably 15, I was drinking bourbon. That's all I drank. Joined the Marine Corps. Some things happened in the personal life. I started drinking a fifth a night. Marine Corps said, "Oh, you're an alcoholic. Let's send you to detox." So I went to detox and didn't touch anything for 15 years after that. And now I drink to remember now. So I drink maybe 2 or 3, and that's it. That's all I do anymore. So, but I do miss my bourbon.
Bourbon and Dr. Pepper. It's nothing more refreshing than that.
Oh man, see, I like Jim Beam and Mountain Dew. We called it Jimmy Dew back in the day.
I hate Mountain Dew. I know that's a big thing around here, but it tastes like pine sol to me. Oh, I'm just.
Oh man, yeah, I don't even drink sodas anymore. So it's strictly water nowadays. So, anywho, it is about that time. It's 8 o'clock already, Johnny. I was like, holy cow. So
that's what happens when we have a guest that is there and on point.
Yes.
And, we don't have to pull.
Yes. I love it.
I had an energy drink before I started, so now I'll be up all night.
There you go. So ladies and gents, you can go to eliteengraving24.com and see everything that's that you can order from their website. They do tumblers. They do I've seen some etching on glass, laser on glass, right?
Barware. Yep.
Koozies like Gunny has right there. patches. You can get the Moog Mile, or you can get the HomeFront SitRep. You can get pretty much anything that you want from Elite Engraving 24. I love the Richardson 112. They have all the styles available. So if you want a hat for your nonprofit, your business, reach out to Miss Kara and her husband there, and they'll take care of you. You know, so if somebody is this the website's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yes, either through there or they can look us up, Elite Engraving on Facebook. That's probably where we're the most active. I think there's more than one Elite Engraving out there possibly, but we're usually always the first one that pops up. So we do giveaways all the time. I think we're giving away a custom engraved toolbox right now. So you can go on there and you can follow the page, and there's lots of photos of a lot of the work that we've done for previous customers as well, and always doing giveaways. And but
And
I
it's a
really
small.
appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm thankful you came on, because I've been talking to you for a while. I'm like, hey, you need to come on. You need to come on. You're like, I don't know if I can do it. My husband definitely won't do it. I'm just thankful that you decided, hey, it's time to come on the show, because we love supporting small veteran-owned businesses, and you and your husband do amazing work. That's why we would definitely wanted to highlight you guys.
Thank you. Thank you both for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're very, very
Thank you
welcome.
for putting out a great product for us to promote. And like Willis says, we do it at the end of every show. So every single week, Elite Engraving gets mentioned, twice a week on our show. So, and then, we get to show off these amazing HomeFront SitRep hats too.
Yeah, those are the red carbon fiber ones. Yeah, I like those.
I love those. I love it just for the red patch by itself. It's being Red Friday, you can wear it anytime. So I definitely love that. It just some people's like, oh, you shouldn't do red, and I'm like, there's a reason behind it, but it is what it is. So I need to order some new ones anyway, because I've already wore mine and they've already got sweat stains and everything else. So probably need to order some new ones. So, but anywho, we're going to drop you down in the green room. If you got to go and get busy back to doing the things that you were doing beforehand, we want to say thank you for coming out and hanging out with us, for sure.
Yeah, thanks you guys. Have a great night.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
you too. I'll be reaching out here in the next few days.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. How cool was that, Gunny?
Good stuff, man. I mean, we knew her and her husband were both service members, right? Because we talked about them being a small veteran-owned service business. But, dude, I worked with Air Force people, right? And when you, like, for our mechanics and our crew chiefs can do almost the same job on the aircraft. Our crew chiefs train as mechanics, and some of our crew chiefs or some of our mechanics train as plane captains to get the the aircraft up to the engine start piece. And it's not like that in the Air Force. They've got their own little set people. But I guess talking to her and the job that she did, it's mostly like all the support equipment. So they have to know every piece of support equipment for every single aircraft, which is really, really cool. But yeah, no, it's awesome, man. And we talk about all the time how like the Air Force and the Army have a lot better duty stations than what the Marine Corps has. And you can't count MSG, right? Because that's a special duty. But just for regular duty, man, they got a lot better places than we had the opportunity to go to.
Oh yeah.
So,
Let's share this screen, Gunny. I'm going to share this screen. All right. So we've been talking about it. And it's
I shared it the other day. You shared
Yeah.
it the other day. We're still working on one more. Still just trying to fine tune that one. But yeah, I'm super excited of the new merch page for HomeFront SitRep. Man, the shirts are great. You can get them in different colors. You can get the font in different colors. So yeah, super excited. Go out and grab your HomeFront SitRep gear.
Yeah, the ones I'm super excited about are the hashtag You're Not Alone tee here.
Yeah.
Like Gunny said, you can get it in any of these colors here. You got black on white, you got black on red, you got black and yellow, and then you got you got green, red, So you can get any of that shirt in those colors.
Yeah.
It is
Black,
distressed.
black, OD green, so military green, a desert tan, and a red are going to be your color options for your shirts. And then the colors on the shirt, it's white, red, I think it's gray and yellow,
light
right?
gray. Yep.
And yellow.
So you got light gray, you got a yellow, red and white, and then the desert tan, you got black and khaki and black, khaki and dark gray, khaki and red, and then red you got red, black, red, yellow, and then red and light gray. So if you want, you can go to. I'm going to add this link to our merch site. That way you can just click on it and you can get it. We are working on the spicy pineapple, which is something that it's pretty cool shirt. It's a pineapple grenade. It says it's spicy pineapple, and then it says tossing joy into people's life since 1906. Come to find out that date's wrong. It's actually 1918. So we need to go in and change that. But we're working on that. So you can actually go order these shirts. It's live right now. The link, I will throw it in chat so people can go to it. And then I will have it added to the website, hopefully tonight, as well. So you can go to the merch there and get it there. But we're super stoked to have it up and ready to go. So
I'm stoked for the last shirt that we're not going to mention until it's on there, and we are still fine tuning it. But I'm super excited for that one.
Yeah, I think that with it being different from everybody else's, I think that's going to be super cool. So
For sure.
we do have one more shirt coming. So right now we have 5 shirts on there. We have the HomeFront SitRep big logo shirt. Then we have the hashtag You're Not Alone, hashtag Be Someone Stranger. Then we have the
Spicy pineapple.
and then we have the Marine It Down one on there as well. So those 5 shirts are there. We are adding a 6th one. Like Gunny said, we are still tweaking it because we want to make sure it's good to go. Let me fix TikTok here real quick. Come on, TikTok, come on. I hate this. It's got this little puzzle that you got to drag and get it right in spot.
Oh yeah.
It's like, But anyway, so our shirts are up live. The link is in chat right now. It is through sameflagsameoath.com /pages /homefront -sitrep -podcast. Or you can just click on the link there in chat. But it is about that time, Gunny. What do you think?
Yeah, man.
Are you ready for yours?
Dude, yeah. I'm on it tonight, bro. Except for my sound screwing up earlier.
It still is a little bit when you get loud. It crackles a little bit.
I don't get it.
All right, here we go.
Gunny's Words of Wisdom.
If your absence doesn't bother them, your presence never meant anything to them.
Ooh, say that again for the people in the back.
If your absence doesn't bother them, your presence never meant anything to them.
I like it. That is powerful because we all know you have those friends that say they're your friend, right? But
there's
in
always
reality,
people there for you and alongside of you when you're on top. But when you're on the bottom, you really find out who your friends truly are.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. I will agree with you 100%. All right, here we go.
It's time for the joke of the day.
Why was the pitcher sent to jail?
Why was the pitcher sent to jail?
Yeah, why was the
crooked.
pitcher? It was framed.
Ah!
Dun, 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 dun. I went away from the military jokes for now because I think that one website already used them all. So,
there's got to be something out there.
yeah.
We need people to submit. I mean,
Yeah,
we've asked.
Chris Cornelius, we need you to send a video of you saying a joke, clean joke. Marcus, you can send one too. Shannon Book can send one. Whoever's still watching at the present moment in time. It just needs to be a video of you telling a joke, a clean joke. Send it to homefrontsitrep@gmail.com. That's homefrontsitrep@gmail.com. And we will air it on that segment. So it's the joke of the day. So send them in. What did Chris just say? Oh boy. All right. Good night, Chris. I know you're getting ready to head out. So, all right, Gunny. You're up.
Yeah, you're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Don't let the dark days win. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down. And more importantly, you don't have to be a product of your environment. You know, I think a lot of people lose touch with that is, I'm from here. This is the way I have to be. Man, be your own person. And I tell people all the time, especially young guys and gals that are getting ready to go in the military, your staff NCOs and officers already had their career. You make your career what you want it to be. And it's the same thing out here. You live your life. Don't live the life that you think you have to live.
Powerful. In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you were deeply held in hearts of others. You're not alone. The uniform may come off, but the bond remains. And together we heal, together we rise, and together we carry each other forward. And the key word there is together. We have to do this together. Hashtag be someone stranger. Listen, we talk about this every episode. Be someone stranger. We as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. So be someone stranger today. If you're out and about and you see somebody and it looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them, say, hey, how are you doing? And if they give you the red flags, I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living the dream, ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation. It could be a 5-minute conversation. It could be an 8-hour conversation. Just listen. Don't try to fix them, because sometimes we just want to get it out. We need to get our demons out, what we're facing, what we're talking, what's going on with this. So just sit there and listen.
Yeah, it takes a village. We're all every single one of us went through boot camp with, X amount of other individuals, but we did it together. And the same thing, your mental health, your well-being. Yes, at the end of the day, it's on you, but you can't do it alone. Pick up your phone, do that cell phone roulette. Open your contacts, scroll through blindly, and just hit a name. Whoever that is, just hit it, call them. If it doesn't answer, hey, just thinking about you today. And keep doing that till somebody answers the phone and say, hey, you got a minute? I just need to talk. And tell them, I don't want you to fix me. I just need to vent. I just need to get this out of me. My buddy Josh says, hey, I can see the sharks are swimming. You all right? Yeah. And, we were Marines together for 5 years. And, he knows that there's things that happened in my life, in my Marine Corps life, that doesn't fully understand, but he'll sit there and listen to me. So, find that person.
Yeah, definitely find your village for sure. All right, time to talk about our community partners. We just had one of our great community partners on with Elite Engraving 24.com. I tell you, that was the first time I really had a conversation with her outside of text message or Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, it was amazing to get to talk with her. Unfortunately, her husband didn't want to join, which we understand. Being veterans, we understand. But I want to thank Kara from the bottom of my heart for taking the time out and being willing to come on, because she didn't know how she would do on the show. I'm going to send her information.
Hey, she did great, man.
She did amazing.
She came on and she ran the show. I mean,
yeah.
We didn't have to pull stuff out of her. She hit on all the points that we wanted her to hit on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna send her to other veteran podcasts because I want to support them as much as I can.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do. Kind of like this nonprofit right here, Gunny. You want to talk about them?
Dude, I cannot say enough great things about SOF missions. We went down there in February and did their 5-day Be Resilient clinic. And, they focus on your mental well-being, your spiritual well-being, your physical well-being, and your social well-being. And, when I say your spiritual well-being, it's not all about, you know, finding the Lord, and it's more about finding your path and, sticking to that. But man, they've done some great things. Every single thing that you do down there, minus the group setting classes, are all catered to you, the individuals. I think they do 10 or 12 clinics a year. Of those clinics, 2 of them are all female. So if you're a female and you're not comfortable being around other males, they do have clinics with all females. You will have males there supporting, but every person attending is a female that's going through the clinic. Matter of fact, I think they just wrapped up.
They just wrapped up
one of their female clinics.
Yeah.
But they do 365-day aftercare. If that's something that you want to do, is to continue what they start down there in Tampa, they will do it. I'm still doing my workouts. I just had my 90-day follow-up and got my new prescriptions in, or I say supplements, not prescriptions, supplements. So yeah, super excited about them and to share it with everybody. Check them out, sofmissions.org. It's not just service members, first responders as well. So if you go in there and you want to attend one of these Be Resilient clinics, under military and under branches, scroll down. There's a drop down tab for branches, and underneath all the branches is law enforcement and firefighter. So if you're a law enforcement officer or a firefighter that wants to go to one of these clinics, click on one of those 2 tabs.
Yeah. Up next, heroesmediagroup.com. That's heroesmediagroup.com. Adam Bird, man, I tell you what, I love being part of the HMG family. If I need anything about anything, I just reach out to Adam, say, hey, I need this or I need that. He's helped get some of the guests that we've had. And if we need him for anything, if we need a press pass to get into a big event in DC, we just call Adam, say, hey, can you get me a press pass for this or this? So that's super cool, being able to do that with HMG. So go to HMG or heroesmediagroup.com, check out the website and see what everything that's got going on there. Up next is reachacrossamerica.org/radio. That's reachacrossamerica.org/radio. We are part of the Reach Across America radio family. We have now over almost 2 years now, maybe a little more than 2 years. And man, I tell you, I cannot be thankful enough to be aired on Reach Across America radio. It takes a lot to get to that point for them to even think about bringing you on the show or on their radio station. Me and Gunny, we've had a couple interviews with the people there with with Reach Across America. And I tell you, Jeff Pierce and his team, they're phenomenal.
Well, we went to the truck show last year, and we both did the interview there. And then, Jeff's up there in Maine, and he does a segment on the radio up there, centered around Maine veterans. And even though I don't live there, I'm from there. I lived there for 19 years. My family's still there. I have a lot of friends that are still there. So I was able to go on there and do an interview up there too. And also talk about the HomeFront SitRep up there. And, I just can't thank Jeff enough for everything he's doing for us and for the veteran community, for sure.
Heck yeah. So check out reachacrossamerica.org/radio, or you can download the iHeartRadio app, TuneIn app, or Audacity app. Search the word Reese, and you can find it there as well. Up next, sameflag.com. I know we kind of touched on them just a few minutes ago, but I can't say enough about Matt and Becky Johnson, small veteran-owned company outside of Katy, Texas. They created the Marine It Down shirt, which is a co-branded shirt, which helps us be able to donate to all these local nonprofits when we get that check at the end of the year. That shirt right there that Gunny's showing, that's a co-branded shirt. And the cool thing about that, actually, we need to get the new logo on that, so we need to fix that. At the end of the year, we get 25% of all sales. So at the end of the year, we take that check and we put all these local nonprofits, or not local, but national nonprofits, but they're mom and pop grassroots, put them in a wheel, spin it, whoever it lands on, gets that check. Same thing with our hat from Elite Engraving 24, which is this hat here, or the Gunny has the other one as well. We get 20% of all sales of that. And we do the same thing with that check. We don't keep any of that for ourselves. So check out EliteEngraving24.com. Gunny, you got this one?
Yeah, Valor Coins and Pins, owned and operated by Brent and Brian Casey. They are both the grandsons of the late Herschel Woody Williams, Medal of Honor recipient from World War II at the Battle of Iwo Jima. Again, a veteran-owned business based out of here in Kentucky. Anything that any need you have, coins, pins, medals, poker chips, patches, Brent and Brian will take care of you. So valorcoinsandpins.com, check them out. And he'll go back and forth with you as many times as needed to get your product perfect.
Yep. All right, you got this one?
Yeah, RDC Shoes, Marine veteran, former law enforcement officer, based out of Ohio right now. Willis. Right now they have the Glory and the Patriot shoes. The Glory is a red and white shoe with a blue tongue. The Patriots are the blue field with the stars with a red and white tongue. And then I think right now it's Folds of Honor on the Patriot shoes, or the Glory shoes. And that will, portion of the proceeds go to help Folds of Honor. And then on the Glory shoes, or the Patriot shoes, it's for the Herschel Woody Williams Foundation to help build Gold Star Memorial Monuments.
And then I'll always check out our HomeFrontSitRep.com as well. Check out our website. I will be adding the link to order the shirts there on our website. We did share it on my personal page. Gunny shared it. It's shared out everywhere. If you don't mind, share that out with your friends and family. That would help support HomeFront SitRep and help us keep the mission going. Gunny and I, we'd love to give back to our veteran community. And that's the plan with all funds that come in, is to give back to our veteran brothers and sisters out there. So definitely go share out the link for our shirts. But like Gunny and I always say, stay safe out there. We got your
six.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.